It's lunchtime, and I've got a half-size main course with a side of refried beans, much like our project today, to make the new RG28xx from Anbernic into a retro and Steam indie games pocket player by sideloading the newly released MuOS fried beans and then load indie games using Portmaster. Let's dig in because I'm feeling a little bit low on energy. While this is charging, let's take a look at the device. On the face you have Start and Select and D-pad on the left and SNES style buttons on the right. On the bottom is two SD card slots as well as a 3.5mm headphone jack. On the left side is the volume up and down buttons. The top has inline bumpers and trigger buttons for easy pocketability, an HDMI port for video out, and a menu button for the device. On the right side, the smaller button is the device restart and the bigger button is for power and sleep. Let's quickly go through some comparisons with other small devices. First, I'm hoping that the RG28xx is a worthy successor to my first dedicated retro handheld, the BitBoy Pocket Go from 5 years ago in 2019. They are roughly the same size, but the 28xx has a larger screen with smaller bezels. They are about the same thickness and weight, but note that the Pocket Go managed to get larger buttons and D-pad into that form factor. It's not the smallest handheld on the market, that award goes to the Thumbee. Looking at the two side by side, the 28xx is massive and the buttons and D-pad look almost normal size. One other quick comparison is against the Steam Deck, and as you can see, the size difference between these is massive. Let's take a very quick look at the stock experience to compare to MuOS. It's a basic but functional menu with games, favorites, apps, settings, and to their credit, an option for search, which is sorely lacking in many custom firmwares. I have always found that the options for game rooms, which means standalone emulators, and RA game for RetroArch to be very confusing. To get the latest version of MuOS for the 28xx, you can either click the link in the description below, or start here at the website at muos.dev. Select Release, go to Plus and H, select Download 2405.1 Refried Beans, download it from our Build Releases page. Then from here, select RG28xx and download the file. This download will be slow. When you're done, the file will contain a .img file, which you will burn to an SD card using any SD card burner you want to use, like Balena Etcher or Win32 Disk Imager. Once the image file is written to a fresh SD card, let's return to the device and finish the setup process. Start by ejecting the stock SD card from the first slot, TF1. Insert the card with MuOS and power the device on. The first screen that comes up will be to select your device type. In this case, the only option is the RG28xx. Then select your time zone and set the time. After that, the operating system will perform the factory reset and start building out the file system. This process will take longer than you expect. Once that is done, the device will boot into MuOS. Let's take a quick tour. At the top level is a menu to go to games, or as they call it, content, favorites, history, recently played games, applications, information, and a settings menu called configuration, and options to reboot or shut down. There are more themes available directly on the device, and some of the options are pretty good. If you don't like any of these, there are more themes that are available on the MuOS webpage for download and install separately on the card. When you go into Explore Content, you will notice that the menu is completely empty. This is because MuOS will respect whatever folder structure that you want to create for yourself on the PC when you load in your game. The 28xx does not have Wi-Fi built in like its 35xx Plus and SP siblings. We can still get Portmaster games onto the device using a few techniques. The first supported way is to sideload packages by downloading them onto the PC from the portmaster.games website and transferring them to the SD card. Let's start by sideloading Sonic Mania, released in August of 2017 and ported to devices by the legendary Gamma Squeeze. Just download the package, and when you inspect the zip contents, you'll see that there is a script file as well as a Sonic Mania data folder. Without the Portmaster app, we will need to create the folder structure manually. Documentation on the MuOS website shows that we will need a folder at the top level called ports, where the data folder goes, and a ports folder in the ROMs directory where the .sh script file will go. We will start by creating the folder at the top level and transferring over all the files. Then we will create the folder in the ROMs directory and transfer just the .sh file. open up the Sonic Mania folder. We will need to transfer over the game files from your install on the PC. Open the management app for your game and select the option to browse local files. Then copy over the data.rsdk file. And it works. Let's check out a little bit of Sonic Mania in action. Now let's try something a little bit more daring. If you have a device, a Wi-Fi dongle, and a USB-C to USB-A adapter, you can get a zip file from the MuOS Discord, drop it into the archive folder of the SD card, and to enable Wi-Fi features in MuOS. Let's try it out. Back on the device, we connect a specific TP branded Wi-Fi adapter and a USB-A to USB-C adapter and connect it to Wi-Fi. From here, we should be able to launch the Portmaster app. If you run into issues, you may need to download and apply a Portmaster fix. When the app launches, it'll start downloading updates and then it'll go to the main menu. Portmaster has two different types of ports: homebrew that can be downloaded and installed right away, or ports that need files from the PC installation. Let's try out one of the ready-to-run ports. To launch the newly downloaded game, you will need to exit the Portmaster application, go to Explore Content, Ports, and then select the file from the ports directory. And it works! No PC files required. Let's take a look at some of the ports, starting with balatro. As you can see, the text in this game is quite small. Stardew Valley isn't working for you, check this link for a video from Pyrex Techs, which provides a file to replace a library to fix Stardew Valley. From here, click the link. It'll replace libegl, download. When this is done, select these files and then replace them in the Stardew Valley Portmaster folder on your machine. Now let's use these files to replace the existing files in the Portmaster Stardew Valley installation. Say ports, Stardew Valley, GL4ES, copy the files over and replace. He has instructions for this in his video as well. Replace, as you can see here. Stardew Valley. Thank you for joining me on this effort to turn the RG28xx into a little Steam Deck player. If you'd like to see more videos on Portmaster, please let me know. In the meantime, stay retro, stay gaming, and stay awesome.